Okay, so I want to talk about how these reality breakers. Okay, so first of all, I'm starting to get a good idea of the resets that we've had. What those are all about. I'm seeing that actually, like the Inquisition. Well, all the Inquisitions are, led by heroic figures. Okay, as far as the Bible is concerned, like heroes of the Bible. They're the ones who are leading these witch hunts and these inquisitions, etc. Okay, so now we know, of course, that history is written by the winners, and that they have villainized these inquisitions and witch hunts and all that. They don't want us doing these things. And Robespierre and the French Revolution and the Russian Revolution and these guillotines and all this, they want you to think. Well, basically, they want to be the only ones that torture people and that kill people. Okay, it's no fun when the rabbit has the gun. Which is what happens with those things. Okay, with those revolutions. And karma is a motherfucker. And it's also foreshadowing your future. Okay? So, anyways, so you have these attempted resets. For instance, like 1177, the Sea Peoples, the invasion of these random Sea Peoples who are all have the same exact expression, who all look like Dagon. Okay. Then you have heresies, like with the Cathars, and all they eat is fish. Okay. Because they said the other food comes from sexual. Well, I guess they eat fish and vegetables, but they don't eat anything that came from a sexual encounter. I guess they think fish just spontaneously just kind of just breed or whatever. Or yeah, that's what they believe. So, but I'm saying, but they're all Dagon. So these Sea Peoples that invaded are all Dagon. And then 100, 200 years later, you have these people trying to, start their own Christianity thing that goes against the Catholic Church. And then here comes the Catholic Church running down on you. And having these, what was it, the Abolghazni? I forget. It was some type of, I guess, massacre or whatever of them. But we're supposed to think those things are evil, and we're wrong. Okay? Eradicating them. So that's kind of just one thing I wanted to talk about. Another thing I wanted to talk about was how these reality breakers seem to, I guess, they're like a response to these resets. Okay, so you have these beings from the abyss who are engaged in these resets. Okay, Dagon and Nyarlathotep and Nyx and all them. And so these reality breakers want to fight fire with fire. So now they go to the abyss. So now when the world is full of all these people from the abyss, at least you have these reality breakers in there. I guess to keep things going. And this could be what pisses Lucifer off. Okay? And why he wants to funnel them into the mouth of hell and torture them as well. Because now he can't you know, have these apocalyptic events where maybe, you know, this is why a bottom part of a lot of buildings are buried because of the mud flood or whatever. I also think it's possible that fire is used, ash is used to blacken the sky of certain places during these events, but you have these reality breakers who possibly stop that from happening. I don't know. But so one of them, let's talk about Mescanet. Now I know this one in real life. I know it's manifestation, and indeed she's pretty much psycho, but she's got a good heart, and you know, but definitely somebody who has dabbled in black magic. Somebody who has been like had all just. You have to watch. You have to know her character from True Blood. Is that what it's called? With the fake blood. What the hell is that show called? Was that it? True Blood? Anyways, with all the vampires and shit in Sookie Stackhouse. She is Sookie Stackhouse. So just the whole entire show is just her getting kidnapped and her blood drank and all types of. So that's her life. That's this girl's life. She's signed up for all that. A life of a being from the abyss. Okay. So yeah, so she's just fucked up out here. But so she knows when her avatars spawn here, they're gonna get chewed up and spat out. Probably like what happens to her in the abyss, but better that it happens to her in her mind or whatever. Who knows what she's thinking? Than other people. Also, she is kind of leading Yog Sothoth around like a dog. Okay? Because he has these unstoppable urges to violate angelic beings and goddesses that he just can't control. Okay? So she's, as you know, Thomas Ligotti has possibly pointed out, he's like her puppet. So she comes here and she gets to lead him around. Like as much fucked up shit as he has to deal with, a lot of it is going to be used to lead him around. Okay? And like in the story, like when they attacked her, what's the Ligotti story? I forget what exactly. I put it up on a playlist. But when they attack her, she actually, I guess her hand gets chopped off or whatever. She actually becomes even more attractive after she gets abused. So this is all like part of her whatever she's doing. Okay? And that's going to, in a world full of just avatars of Nyx, Nyarlathotep, and his outer being gang, she's going to be able to, you know, because she is every prostitute, she's going to be able to have babies who, you know, don't have to, like if somebody particularly hates Nyx, they can spawn with her instead of having to spawn, you know, as a child of Nyx. Another one, like the John Wayne one, okay? The Wild West guy, Clint Eastwood. Tough as nails, hard ass, okay? In the Game of Thrones show, he's was it Alistair Thorne? And like this keeps popping up in my head. This one scene where Marco Sius, Jon Snow, and Rom, Samuel Tarly, they're kind of like laughing and like giggling alone. They're in somewhere and just like laughing and giggling, and then Thorne pops in. And he's like, just tells him like, oh, he's like, oh, you having a good time? Like, yeah, fire's warm, huh? And he starts telling him about winter. You know what I'm saying? When winter comes and when it's 30 degrees below zero or whatever, and you try to use the bathroom and you lose a finger from the cold just from trying to get it out. And he's like, all right, this is the, hard ass motherfucker that, is, I guess, is just part of resets. Okay, or what stops things from being completely reset, because he's from the Abyss and he already knows how to deal with all this sexual deviation that comes from being a part of the Abyss, and just all the rough conditions and just all that type of shit. So anyways, that's just something I kind of wanted to cover with them too, and how they just kind of, maybe keep things going as far as the resets are concerned. That could be what the Game of Thrones world is. That's why you see so many reality breakers. Like, you'll see the same 5 characters over and over again in that show. Or maybe 7 or 8 characters, and that could just be like a situation where they're about to face a reset. I mean, you got the Night King and shit, and the White Walkers and all that, so it's like apocalypse time there. And so I'm saying, so maybe these breakers are just instead of the cause of, like I thought, the cause of resets and shit and apocalyptic scenarios, and really they're a reaction to these scenarios, them popping up everywhere, because the world kind of turns into the Abyss. They've already populated the Abyss. They've already got their little abyssal connections. So I'm saying they're more prepared to deal with this shit than somebody who just spends all their time in heaven. Okay? This Abyss type of situation world with Nyx running around everywhere and Nyarlathotep everywhere running everything, that is not something like anybody really wants to be a part of. I mean, look at the world right now. Like, nobody wants to be a part of this shit. Like, what the fuck is this? And I'm saying all those things are necessary for revolutions, which, I mean, come on, like, this is just, that would be too easy. I'm not even gonna, I'll take a different route. I want to drive y'all insane, personally. That's what I want to do. That's my greatest wish in life, is to watch you just lose your fucking mind. And off with your head, without any guillotines, executioner, none of that shit. Okay? You're just going to lose your... I mean, y'all are close. And maybe we'll get to that in another video, how close you motherfuckers are. Especially your manifestations to just losing their fucking minds. Okay? Because you're already a horrible mess. So what is it? I mean, I could knock you off the edge with a feather, I would think. You're that close to just being completely bonkers. So anyways, yeah, just want to throw that video out there. See y'all.